1998 version with Drew Barrymore, Angelica Houston, and Doug Ray Scott. And there's no magic in this version at all. Cinderella, her name is Daniel de Barbarac, and the prince and Danielle actually spend a lot of time together in this version. They meet because she is under disguise trying to free a slave, and she quotes philosophy to him. This is definitely the most educated Cinderella ever put on film, and they have a back and forth about the validity of freedom and what it means to be a person, and how you can't take away someone's humanity. And they talk about an ideal society. There's this library that they go to that seems to be all covered in ivy and in the middle of nowhere, and he reads to her passages from a book on their first date. It's very academic Cinderella. It's very exciting to me. And the Baroness is definitely the softest version of the Baroness, of the stepmother. Her name is the Baroness Rodmilla de Ghent. And she is a little bit sympathetic. You kind of feel sorry for her. She says, I hardly knew your father. I hardly knew him. I just had to get married because I had to be married to live. And so you kind of understand a little bit about why it's kind of the opposite of the typical Cinderella story, where it's about meeting, getting married, you just met, you just saw each other, and yet you're destined for each other. Well, here's somebody who they just met, they got married, and it turned out it was not meant to be. But she knew that that's what she had to do to save her family. And this is also a version of this story that uses the liar reveal more than any other Cinderella that I've seen, where she spent a lot of time with the prince. And so when the prince finds out that she is really the servant, the slave, he's really angry. And he feels like, how could you lie to me? How could you be untruthful? And that's a different side of of Cinderella that we have never seen before. And so people that feel like Cinderella is only valued on her looks, I don't think that they really have looked at the different versions, because there's lots of different things that make her valuable in different versions. And here it's her honesty, it's her heart that she shared with him, it's their philosophies and their debate. It's not just her beauty. If that was it, then why would he care so much about the liar reveal? If it was just that, oh, you're still pretty, and you're still pretty, you're pretty then and you're pretty now. But it's more than that. So this is also the only version that has a sympathetic stepsister. After a period of time, it's kind of like the Glass Slipper, but in the Glass Slipper, it's Cinderella who has the moment of realization where she needs to go and find her love. And ever after, it's the prince who realizes that he's made a huge mistake with, and it's Leonardo da Vinci. It's also the only version that has a male fairy godmother, is this ever after. And so Leonardo da Vinci basically says, look, what are you doing? This is a great person. You really loved her. And so he goes off and he tries to rescue her. He even says, I came to rescue you. Well, it turns out she had actually just freed herself. And so she didn't need rescue. And he's the one that needs to be rescued by her and needs to be loved by her. And so they marry, and there is some sweet revenge at the end.